I guess on the first episode, I said, my car's.
For years, people have whispered about bad Chad Hiltz, a name that carried a lot of mystery and some serious questions. Nobody really knew what was true, but something about him always seemed off. Now, after all this time, at 53 years old, Chad finally decided to step forward and say what everyone has been wondering about for so long. It's the kind of story you don't hear every day, a man with a secret that's been hiding in plain sight. Chad wasn't just some random guy. He had a reputation that made people curious and a little scared. People talked about him quietly, sharing stories that made his name stick in their minds. But until now, no one had the full picture, and Chad kept everything close, never confirming or denying anything. This made the rumors grow bigger and the mystery even thicker. So, why did he wait so long? And what finally made him speak out? These are the questions many have been asking as this story unfolds. Chad's decision to come forward at this point in his life is a turning point, and it changes the way we see everything we thought we knew about him. This video will take you through everything, from the early whispers to the moment Chad spoke out. We'll look at what people thought all along, and how this reveal fits into the bigger story. It's a mix of truth, mystery, and a bit of surprise that's finally out in the open. For a long time, the rumors about Chad Hiltz were everywhere, even if people didn't talk about them openly. It was like this quiet buzz. Everyone heard something, but no one had proof. People would exchange stories, often with a nervous laugh or a cautious glance, because what they thought about Chad was serious stuff. The whispers said he wasn't who he appeared to be, and that behind the scenes, there was more going on than anyone wanted to admit. These rumors didn't just pop up overnight. They grew slowly, piece by piece, as people noticed strange behavior, strange decisions, or just a vibe that didn't quite add up. Some said Chad had done things that crossed lines, while others thought maybe it was all just gossip blown out of proportion. But no one could say for sure. The not knowing made the story even more interesting. Social media and online forums only made things worse for Chad's reputation. Once the internet caught on, the stories spread fast, with people debating, sharing evidence, and sometimes making things up to fill in the blanks. The more people talked, the harder it got to separate fact from fiction. It was like a puzzle with missing pieces, and Chad was right in the middle of it all. Despite all this, Chad kept silent. No interviews, no statements, no public appearances to explain or clear things up. That silence made the rumors feel heavier, like he was hiding something. And the longer he stayed quiet, the more people believed the worst. It's the classic case. When someone doesn't say anything, people assume the worst is true. Chad Hiltz's story starts long before any of the rumors. Growing up, he seemed like an ordinary guy. Nothing too flashy or too quiet. He worked hard and made a name for himself in his field, earning respect for what he did. People who knew him back then say he was friendly enough, but there were always a few who noticed something a bit unusual about him. Maybe it was the way he kept some parts of his life private, or the way he sometimes disappeared for a while, without explanation. As Chad's career moved forward, those little odd moments didn't just disappear. Some incidents caught people's attention, things that seemed strange or out of place. For example, he was known to make decisions that surprised even his closest friends and coworkers. They couldn't always understand why he did certain things, which only added fuel to the growing gossip. Still, many gave him the benefit of the doubt. After all, everyone has quirks, right? But as time went on, those quirks started to feel more like warning signs. When you look back now, it's easy to see how those early hints connected to the bigger story people suspected all along. The pieces were there, just waiting for someone to put them together. What made things even more complicated was Chad's ability to keep his personal life tightly locked away. He rarely shared details or let people get too close. That distance created a wall that made people even more curious and more suspicious. It's like he was playing a game and no one knew the rules. Then, after all these years of silence and speculation, Chad Hiltz finally decided to speak out. At 53, he came forward with the truth, confirming what many people had only guessed at or whispered about behind closed doors. It was a moment that surprised a lot of people because they never thought he'd actually admit to anything. In his statement, Chad didn't hold back. He explained things in his own words, giving details that made it clear the rumors were true. It wasn't just a simple confirmation, it was a full acknowledgement of what people had suspected for years. Hearing him say it himself changed everything. Suddenly, the mystery was no longer a mystery. What made this reveal even more powerful was the timing. Some wondered why he waited so long to come clean. Was it guilt? Relief? Or maybe he just wanted to take control of the story before someone else did. Whatever the reason, Chad's decision to come forward at this point in his life gave the whole situation a new meaning. This moment wasn't just about Chad admitting the truth. It was about facing the consequences and finally stepping out of the shadows. It was a turning point, one that made people stop and rethink everything they thought they knew. Now, the real story could finally begin. As soon as Chad Hiltz's confession became public, reactions poured in from all over. Some people were shocked, feeling like they had been right all along but never had the proof. Others felt betrayed, especially those who had supported him or defended him during all the rumors. The news sparked a lot of conversations, with people debating what it all meant for Chad and for everyone involved. The media quickly picked up the story, turning it into headlines and deep dives. News outlets tried to analyze every detail, looking for answers and explanations. Some reports were sympathetic, trying to understand Chad's reasons for staying silent for so long. Others were harsher, focusing on the impact of his actions and questioning how much damage had been done. Social media exploded, with people sharing their opinions, memories, and theories. For some, this was proof that the rumors were true and that they had been right to be suspicious. For others, it was a reminder of how easy it is to judge without knowing the full story. The reactions were mixed, showing just how complicated this situation really is. Through it all, Chad stayed mostly quiet, letting the news speak for itself. Whether people believe him or not, this revelation changed the conversation completely. It pushed the story into the open and forced everyone to face the reality that had been hiding beneath the surface for years. Now that Chad Hiltz has finally come forward and confirmed what everyone suspected, the question is, what happens next? For Chad, this could be a chance to start fresh, but it won't be easy. People will remember what he admitted, and rebuilding trust takes time. How he handles this new chapter will shape the rest of his life. For the community and everyone who followed the story, this moment is a reminder of how complicated people can be. It's easy to judge from the outside, but the truth is often messier than we expect. This whole situation shows that sometimes secrets stay hidden for a reason, and facing them isn't simple. This story also sparks a bigger conversation about honesty and accountability. When someone keeps things bottled up for years, what does that mean for the people around them? And what lessons can we all learn from Chad's experience? It's about understanding that everyone has a story, and sometimes the hardest part is just telling it out loud. In the end, Chad's decision to finally come forward changes everything. It closes one chapter but opens another, one where the truth is out and the future is uncertain. What matters now is how everyone moves forward, with the truth finally in the light.